Good morning, everyone. It is August 25th, Wednesday. We'll start talking about AMC and the meme stocks. AMC yesterday really woke up and surprised a lot of people too, especially when it actually went red. During the middle of the day, it just kind of started climbing up during power hour and from a squeeze from 37 all the way to 40s and 48. This is what we call a parabolic move, is where the shorts are getting squeezed. It was easy to borrow at a lot of broker firms. And then it's what we call a parabolic move, when the stock just runs irrationally, and there's a lot of irrational buying both on the actual purchasing and the actual shorts getting squeezed and by having to buy to cover. And today, that's the reason I kind of swung it overnight, thinking that we might see some follow through momentum. We swung it from like the 44.30s. We're out half of it, pre-market around 46. I didn't like the fact that we're not trading above VWAP. So that's the thing I'm a little bit concerned about pre-market today. For the stock to really continue up higher, first of all, on the second day, first of all, we need to see a gap up, which, yes, we did. But I really want to see it kind of, yes, it's okay for it to sell off below VWAP, but I want to see it reclaim that before the open. That's how you know it's still continue on an uptrend and you trapped kind of more shorts, either the ones who stayed in yesterday or the ones from pre-market. So the fact that we're not reclaiming that yet, if we really do reclaim, you really have to hold the 46s. It's still 50-50 right now. This really well could just sell off the entire gap. So that's the reason on the rest of the position, that's the swing overnight, I'm setting stops either break even or below prior day's close, whichever you are more comfortable with, as long as you've locked in half of it. Don't want to turn a winner into a loser, right? I think I'm still more bullish than bearish, but I kind of have to be open to both sides, because after all, the stock has been downtrending pretty much since end of June, from $60 all the way to $30. So if you really want to look at the daily chart, this gap up to 45, it's not like a bag holder short yet, but it really well could be, just because of all the retail that's been stuck. So I know everyone talks about they're gonna diamond hand it and all that, but like, just imagine yourself, if you're holding the stock at 60, it went to 30, you took a 50% unrealized haircut and it popped back to 50, 10% loss, well, a little bit more than 10% loss sounds a lot better than 50% loss, right? Just gonna keep that in mind. But I like the fact that we're actually retesting VWAP. If this reclaims that view of then I think we'll have a really high chance of a secondary spike to at least test the 48s and even 50s today. So this is the key level for day trading today, 45.30s. Key level, this white line here, that level holds, and especially if we hold the VWAP area 46. So this zone is the key zone to hold, the 45, 46s, and upside 48, 50s today. I don't know about anything above 50. We gotta have to be realistic. But I think 50% upside is possible, especially if it breaks through the 48 yesterday. Downside, if we break down let's say we reject 46 right now, and at the open we break down the 45.30s, we're gonna test the prior day's close. That's kind of like a last line in the sand, and below that you're going back to 40s, 41s. Yesterday it traded very high volume, also like a volume breakout day. We've been trading, well, it's not low volume, but we've been trading averaging just below 100 million daily. And yesterday was the first day we had over 200 million breakout pretty much since on this day the highest was only 204 for like the last month. So I am thinking that we were gonna see, I'm still more bullish than bearish, but it needs to hold this zone. Easy to borrow now, FYI. If it breaks down the key level 45, the last line in the sand is prior day's close. So this 44 area, that's the last line in the sand. If it really tests that area at the open, I think that's fine. But if it breaks that area midday, then that's where I would be more concerned. At the open, this thing's gonna be volatile. So if you don't like volatility, don't trade these meme stocks within the first 10 minutes. You can at the open, this really well could dump to prior day's close and bounce back to new highs. Yeah, that's just the how volatile it is, because so many people are trapped on both sides, not just the shorts, but also the longs who've been holding, right, since the 50s or 60s. But since we're day trading, I'm open to both sides, right? But overall, at least the chart right now, I'm still more bullish than bearish. The only way I'd short AMC intraday is if there's another parabolic move like this around the 50s. That's the area I will be more comfortable shorting. I'm not even gonna short the 48s if it breaks through, because I think it squeezes higher. 50s or a little bit above 50, 51, 52, a parabolic move. If there's like a gradual trend up, I'm not gonna short it. Or the other scenario is if the stock goes red midday. By midday, I mean, like 11, 12. If it goes red at the open, and it's probably gonna bounce back, and then the second retest of going red, then I'll reassess if there's a short. But I think this is a case where I think probably a lot of people were stuck shorting this yesterday. So you don't want to be another one of those people be getting stuck. So that's AMC. We're going to talk about GameStop and a lot of the other meme stocks on the side to watch. But main watch, the only meme stock I like for main watch is AMC. This is not a meme stock. C-pop. It's C-pop, not K-pop. This thing, it's up. The news is pretty fluff, I have to say. I mean, okay, it's real news probably, but it's not anything. Let's see. Pop Culture Group reports they will develop street dance chain software as a service system. Okay. Well, technically speaking, it's a long-term downtrending chart. It's only a bag holder short if it gets through the nice, in my opinion. But I also don't like the fact that it's already kind of rejecting the highest pre-market. So it's probably just, if this thing breaks down $5, it's going back to the fours. And I would have wasted my locate. Because I was gonna, earlier when I started planning this was setting up as a bag holder short. If it squeezes with nice, that would be the only time, nice or tens, or as close as possible. That would be the only time then where the risk reward would be worth it. But at the moment, it looks pretty dead. Lower float stock, 11 million shares floats, definitely a small cap, 100 mil market cap. I was really thinking it's gonna continue squeezing for a bit longer because the locates were extremely cheap. So, but if it actually looks really weak pre-market. So not recommending going long on the stock anymore. The only long I think at this point for the stock is, let me get rid of this. This is not, like, this is so weak actually. The key level is 550s for the longs now. It really needs to break through 560s and hold it. Then that's when you have upside to potentially 7, 8, and 9s. But if it just kind of crack through, like a lot of volume on the selling side already pre-market, this is really bearish. But also at the same time, it's also not worth the risk, worth the risk reward to short it here, because you have what downside, like let's say if I short it 5 tens, my risk is 40 cents. My downside is like less than $1. So it doesn't really make sense. It's more of this is like, I guess a little bit better than 1-to-1 risk reward, but it doesn't make sense to short it here. So I might move this one to the side watch since it just looks so weak. Yeah. But short, 8 or 9s, but no shorts here. And no long here either until it's over 550. Okay, next one is SPRT. SPRT, right? Yeah, okay. So yesterday it traded through new all-time highs, but I really didn't like the fact that it sold off all the gains. It went to 14 and went back all the way to prior day's close where it opened at 11. So if you just look at the charts yesterday, this is bearish. This would be like a bearish breakout in which the breakout was sold into. With this high volume, it really should have held 80 million shares traded yesterday, basically in line with the all-time high volume. So if you just look at the chart yesterday, it's bearish. But if you kind of look at the pre-market today, this kind of reminds me of what's that stock, MIRM, where it was up for multiple days, and every single time it sold off the day before, a lot of shorts will pile on the second day, thinking that it had this retest of the prior days resistance or support area is going to fail and just gets trapped, and the stocks continue squeezing up higher. I'm not saying that's going to be the case today, but I'm just saying some people might still be trapped. SPRT, this is a pretty not super low, but 9.9 million shares float. Small cap, it's now very hard to borrow. They were kind of getting expensive. But I think the short, this is not setting up for a short unless this thing spikes to, I guess it's all-time high. So not really fitting for a short setup. But the key level for this is $13. $13, this is kind of like the pre-market level it reclaimed. And also if you look at yesterday, that's the breakout level, and that's kind of the level is sold off, but reclaimed midday and kind of held that same area for an extended amount of time until it broke down at 2:00. So this $13 is going to be the key level today. The fact that we're holding above it, at least for now, it's still bullish. But ideally, for the long to really make sense, it needs to break through yesterday's highs and kind of be holding above it. Then you have, I have to draw some Fibonacci extensions. Then you have more upside. But I think I would expect this channel here to really determine the direction of the stock. Yesterday's highs is still going to hold up as a key resistance, so 1450s, and really you just want to use $15. I mean, it's low float stock, big range. It's not, I'm not comfortable longing the stock, but I'm also don't think it's ready for a short yet unless it fails the highs yesterday. Because the fact that this breakout yesterday was sold into and we were so weak, it kind of makes me think that today you might get another secondary spike to 15 and fail. Yeah, this thing can spike for multiple days. And if you look at the charts for, I guess what's the MIRM? Not recently, but maybe this is not the best example. I don't think it's the stock, sorry. It's a different stock I'm thinking, but kind of forgot. But there was right. Right. Thank you. Yeah. So like on this day, the SPRT kind of reminds me of this day where it had a long wick and looks like, it's not going to hold the breakout. And the second day, just keep on the following day, every morning it spikes and fails, spikes and fails, spikes and fails. So I think SPRT is another one of those that does a morning push and then fail. So this is not a stock you want to buy the breakout, but rather you want to identify the support or the consolidation, higher lows, either below or close to VWAP. Those will be the better area if you're looking for long. But don't be one of those people buying the breakout at 1450 and selling at 1470, because that's don't buy a resistance, right? So key level $13. I'm more neutral on this. I think if it fails the highs, 1450s and 15s, that'll be a decent short into those breakout moves, expecting the spike to fail again. But if the stock reclaims the highs from yesterday, this is probably going to test if you do a Fibonacci extension, probably going to test the 20s, looking at the range for this. Or we'll upside to 16s, 17s, 18s, pretty much another couple whole dollar mark, 1630, 1730, etc. Locate on this expenses. So even if I short it, I can't short that much. So that's SPRT. Okay. So next stock I want to talk about DKS. So earnings beat. Hold on, DKS. Yeah, that's the reason it gapped up so much pre-market. Hold on. That's the reason it gapped up so much pre-market. Is because first of all, earnings beat. Hold on, let me just kind of look it up. Yeah, a very good beat, and at the same time they are raising the dividends. Hold on. I saw it earlier. Yeah, sorry. They have a special dividend of 5.5 per share, which is a 21% increase of its quarterly dividend. So multiple factors, stocks, technically speaking, also trading near all-time highs. It's a huge gap. I mean, this thing's all the way up here at 130. That's the prior day's close was 114. This thing is here right now. So I think this stock, there's two scenarios. Either you see some profit taking at the open and let it retest the support here at 125.50s and see if it does a reclaim of VWAP and reversal to the upside. That's one scenario. Or the second scenario is wait 20 minutes after the open and see if it's continuing trending up higher. Because the trend usually forms after 20 minutes. So the trend joining setup on this, you want to wait 20 minutes for it. This could do one of those, what's it, Nike or some stock that, yes, earnings beats, it breaks out and just like pull back hard after the first 5 minutes. Just because this is a huge gap, right? Good news, yes, good fundamental news, special dividend and stuff. That's very exciting, but huge big gap, expecting some profit taking. So key level 125. I think I would prefer to do the trend joining setup after 20 minutes. Yeah. So if it would be a trend join after 20 minutes, if it can break through the 130s after 20 minutes or so. You want to see a break through the pre-market highs. Then that's how you know this thing has room and the momentum to the upside to 137s possible. DKS. I remember trading this thing, the spreads are a little higher. This thing trades maybe not as bad as UPST, but this thing does trade higher spreads. So watch your size if you're trading this, okay? But it's a trend joining setup for me. Above 130s after 20 minutes or so. Do we have time for Airbnb? Okay. Airbnb, hold on. So let me go to the 5-minute chart. It got dragged down by the market. Hold on. So, I mean, SPY is back to green again, but earlier it was opening red. Pre-market. It was, and with the Qs had a small gap down. So that's why a lot of large caps got kind of dragged down. Airbnb today, I would prefer to reclaim the 161s key level and go green on the day to continue the upside. Yesterday was a very strong breakout. So if you look at this candle and the volume, today you have some small support from yesterday at 159s, which we're testing pre-market. I'm kind of watching this after, give it like 20 minutes or so, same idea as DKS. Just want to join the trend after 20 minutes. And ideally it actually goes green on the day. Yeah. Green on the day, which means above 161s, then yeah, upside to 165s and 170 today. We're just looking for a second day continuation for these stocks. If it breaks through, if it rejects the red to green and actually break down this level 159, no more long on the stock, then it'll be a short towards the 156 and even below to like the 154s, especially if the market sells off. But market's holding, at least for now, holding green for now. So kind of want to have the SPY open, and DKS just keeps on going higher. Can't chase that. But Airbnb, it's a stock I'm watching for. I would prefer to long the stock, seeing how strong it was yesterday. Long the stock for trend join above 161.50s. Green on the day, basically. Okay. So these are the main watches. We're going to talk about the side watch, especially the meme stocks. There's a lot of them. Not all of them are going to be in play. That's why they're on side watch. But main watch, AMC for me, and then DKS and Airbnb, a trend join after 20 minutes or so. SPRT, that one I'm watching on the side. I don't, it's setting up, it's setting up to trap a lot more short. So I think that actually might squeeze higher. And CPOP is dead. Don't long the stock unless it breaks to 550. All right, side watch time.